How's it going, guys? I haven't been on in a few months just because I ran into a lot of bad luck with the Miata. So basically what happened was it was my daily. Now I have the Jeep here. We'll get to that in a second. But I'd been driving it for a while, driving about, 2 hours a day. So a lot of driving to work and school, a lot of miles being put on the car, and it was overheating. And I tried about every possible modification I could do, from radiator to radiator fans to buying a new splash pan to redirect air better, trying to see if there was any heat soak coming off the intercooler, etc. And basically I did everything except for reroute the coolant, which if you're a Miata fan, you know about the coolant reroute mod that changes the coolant flow in the engine block just to make sure that it's at the most optimal flow. So essentially what I think happened is, normally when an engine seizes, it's because of the car overheating. You get expansion in the pistons or something like that. I'm not the expert, but basically the piston gets stuck inside the cylinder, and I'm thinking, since I didn't do the coolant reroute, that it's a pretty common issue for cylinder 4 to start overheating. So that's probably what happened here. But yeah, I'm keeping the car. I'm definitely not selling it. I have way too many sunk costs. I'm too far deep in this thing. It's not worth anything to anybody else but me. So I'll just keep it and I'll rebuild it. I got a space to keep it right here. But let's move on to the Jeep. Alright, so I had been toying around with buying a towing rig for a while. I wanted to find something like a truck that could haul a good amount of weight and not really strain itself. Obviously I built the Miata to be a purpose driven track car. It's really not comfortable as a daily driver, so I had been looking into getting one of these Jeeps for a while because they're such a great value. This is a 2004 Grand Cherokee. It's nothing special, but it's got the famous inline 6 motor, and everybody seems to love these motors. They say they're bulletproof, they got a decent amount of torque. I mean, honestly, the thing's slow as hell, but it'll be able to tow the Miata. It actually has a lot of features inside of it, a lot of electronics. I painted this grill black right here. I mean, I'm sure there's a couple videos on YouTube how to do that. It already got dirty from something. Alright, so what's going down today is I am covering the Miata with a car cover. I bought a car cover off Moss Miata, and it has good ratings. I've never used a car cover before. I don't know if it'll fit with my wider wheels. It should fit with the hardtop. The hardtop's mostly stock fitment, but I don't know how the antenna fits through. I guess we're gonna have to figure all that out. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash the car, and then I'll get back to you guys when that's done. Alright, so I guess probably my biggest concern with this car cover was whether or not it was gonna have a hole for the antenna, which I've come to realize it doesn't, and none of them really do. So naturally you'd want to remove the antenna, but yeah, this is a 1992 Miata with a non-power antenna, so it's really tough to remove. So I'm just gonna honestly leave it there and poke a hole through the car cover. The other thing I was concerned about was the wheels fitting in. I got 15x9s on there. They're obviously a lot wider than stock, and it's appearing like they're fitting in the front, so that should be fine. And I hope that these little mud guards fit as well, because those fit on a upgraded package Miata anyways. Okay, so as you can see, I figured out, I put the other corner on. I got all 3 corners on except for this corner over here. So I put the other corner on. Actually, it pretty much lines up with the middle of the gas cap, but on the other side. So right here, right in the center, in between these 2 stitches, and I just put a black dot with a Sharpie there. So I'm gonna poke a hole through that and then see how it works. Alright, so luckily for me, everything pretty much fit well. The hole I made for the antenna was actually, it was really small, to be honest, but I had to rip it a little bit more just so that the whole cover would fit over the back of the car. But it's going to protect the paint, it's going to do its job, and I'm glad because all the mud guards and everything fit under. The only thing I'm a bit disappointed about is that this looks a lot worse than a Miata in my driveway, and it's actually kind of sad not to have that there anymore. Overall, it's pretty good. Um, this is the Mosom from MosMiata.com. I don't remember the exact part name, but it's like all season rain, etc. I live in Florida, so it rains and it's sunny all the time, so I had to just get something that's good value. He's had really good reviews. From the outside, I mean, it was soft enough on the, honestly, I didn't even know at first which way it went on because it was so soft on the outside, so soft on the inside, but you know, it should be rainproof and it should protect the paint pretty well. So this is where the baby's going to be laid to rest for a little while until I can get a new motor. Okay, so up next on the to-do list for today, I want to I want to Plasti Dip the Jeep emblems. I want to use Goo Gone to remove a sticker on the Jeep. It's a dolphin sticker on the rear window, and I cannot be seen in public with it, so I don't know how I've not removed it yet. And then also, I want to paint the wiper blades, and then actually change the angle on the rear wiper blade so that it does some weird stuff, and I'll show you in a second here. Okay, well I just had to change shirts because it is ridiculously hot out here, and even though you look up in the sky it's overcast, that just came around, but it's been brutal. So I'm at the back of the Jeep right now, and first off you can see this dolphin sticker that not only looks shitty, but it's a dolphin sticker. We got this rear wiper blade. So my problem with this thing is I just swapped a 13-inch wiper blade on there. The stock one's a 10-inch, but you can fit up to 13 inches without any issues. But my issue is that it sits here when it's not on, and then when it's on, it shifts up to a position on the window. So it sits on the window, and then it starts wiping. But then when you turn it off, it goes back down here. But the real issue is when you actually first turn it on, it gets stuck in this little window crack right here. So what I want to do is take off this little thing, and we'll be able to change the angle of it so it'll automatically just sit up here all the time. The only downside is that I'm not going to be able to open this, but the struts for this window opening, they're blown, so it's just not even worth it. I'm just gonna try to see if I can seat it up there. I'm gonna get in the car to show you guys a better idea of what's going on. I'll try to face the camera towards the back so you can see what's going on while I'm hitting this. So I'm gonna hit the ignition right now. Not turn the engine on though. Alright, I got the electronics on. You guys got a good view of the back. I'm gonna hit the thing now. Wiper blade. I don't know if you can really hear it. Well, you can see how it stops on the window there, but I don't know if you can really hear it, but it struggles to get up in the first place onto the actual window. And then you can see it struggle to get down. See right up there, it makes like a little thumping noise almost. So I'm gonna try to get rid of that. Since it's about to rain, I think I'm just gonna wait to do the emblems another day. It's Plasti Dip, and I'm actually just gonna do it right on the car and peel off anything that's not part of the emblem. So I'm just gonna do it, see how that's peeled. This is, I don't even know. I mean, the car is 4x4, but it looks like this is like a different brand. But yeah, since that's gonna be right on the car, I can't do that right before it rains because that's just gonna mess it up. But what I can do is I'm gonna take off these wiper blades because they look so, and I'm gonna do this to the front ones as well. I'm gonna take them off because they look so, the paint's so faded, and then I'm gonna paint them with that black paint. And hopefully they come out nice because it's just a Rust-Oleum. I also got these side emblems I'm gonna do. It's a lot of stuff going red. Going red here, and then around here, obviously another Grand Cherokee, and then right here is where the trail rated badge is. Trail rated campaign started in 2004, which is the year of this vehicle, coincidentally. They were a silver badge, but what I think I'm gonna do is try to find a red trail rated badge, depending on whether these come out nice, and I wanna keep it to match everything else. If not, then I'll just get a silver one. Alright, so basically what I'm doing right now is going around the car and I'm removing these little caps that go on the ends of these. The nut for the rear windshield wiper is a 13mm, and this doesn't fit, so I'm guessing it's a 14mm. So I'm just going to go ahead, go around, spray these with WD-40 so I don't strip them. Obviously take the caps off first and then get them off and get ready to paint. Okay, a few notes. So I got this one off, but it was pretty stuck on there after I even took off the nuts. So what I had to do is get this pry tool that I had. It's a trim tool. I mean, I'm sure you could use almost anything that's gonna get in there. I mean, you could probably use a flathead even and just pry it off from different angles. Just be really careful because there's some sort of a seal in here that probably keeps rainwater from getting in there. So yeah, I was just able to basically pry up against this little rubber, this big grommet sort of thing, and get that one off. In the front, I said that those were, what did I say? I said 14 millimeter. They ended up being 15 millimeter. I took them off, and then they wouldn't come off that little shaft like the rear ones would. So I tried using that trim removal tool again, but the problem is the only thing to pry up against in the front is this cowl. And this is probably, I mean, it's plastic and it's probably really brittle from sitting in the sun, or, I mean, the car's 15 years old. So I'm just not even gonna worry about the fronts. I might try to do them another day. They do look crappy. This one's not as bad. The other one's really bad. So I'm just gonna do the rear today. All right, so I got ahead and scuffed this up a bit. Just honestly, just on the part that it is, and it's kind of looking bad, but honestly, just on the part where it's getting painted, I'm gonna see if the rest of the paint, because it's fine on the bottom side. This is only the top side of where it gets exposed to the sun most. So I'm gonna see if I can just paint it to color match. If not, then I'll just paint the whole entire wiper arm. Alright guys, it is tomorrow, and basically last night I just put on a few coats of Plasti Dip on the Jeep on all the emblems, and also painted this wiper arm. Let me point the camera over to that. So basically I just painted the one side of it, which was the top side that was faded, and I could have done a little bit better of a job sanding. I should have sanded where the corrosion met the paint, because that's where it was the most rough, because the whole layer of paint had not come off. So if you're gonna sand yours, I would definitely focus on that part. And then walking over to the Jeep, we have I mean, the front I kind of went all out. This was kind of stupid. It took me forever to do, so I just only did it on the front as I taped these bags. And I mean, it pretty much keeps all the red off any part that I don't want it on, and I'll just peel this off. I'm gonna put a few more coats on. This is still kind of not looking fully covered. And then on all the other sides, I just literally taped around all the badges. Taped over this little Rocky Mountain Edition badge. And then I'm gonna peel off all this. Hopefully it comes off really easily. Did the rear as well. It's gonna come out nice. Got some peeling in the letters here. I don't know, I'm gonna see if I can, because I peeled off some of the Plasti Dip here too to try to level it out a little bit. I didn't really notice how bad it was. So I might either have to sand that off, or first I'm just gonna try to put on some thicker coats and see what goes on. Alright, so I have everything down here that I need to reinstall on the back of the car. I got the wiper arm, got the wiper blade, got the 13 millimeter wrench, got the cover, and got the nut. So basically what we're gonna do is, I can see that this is the full angle to which it extends. There's like a little mark right here from all the years, you know, fully wiping. So I got about this much angle, to be honest. Especially, I'm gonna have to take off this sticker first for the longer blade, but I got about that much angle. So I can move this part towards the middle about this much up more. Hopefully I can fit it all on there. We'll see. Alright, so basically what I ended up doing here was I grabbed the Goo Gone, and there's like a little hole in the thing, so I just squirted it on here, and I held a paper towel right here so it wouldn't drip down and mess with the Plasti Dip. And then honestly I didn't even have a razor, so I just used a paint scraper, and even though it's such a wide blade or whatever, it worked fine. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spray more, or squirt more Goo Gone on here or whatever, and then just wipe all this off for you. Alright, so right here where the decal used to be is completely clean. It looks like nothing was ever there. Very good job. I put the wiper blade back on and put it exactly where I said I was gonna put it, right here, the edge of the glass. The only thing that I'm kind of worried about is that this comes in contact with this little thing that holds it in place whenever it's off. So that's one thing. So when it goes all the way down, it's going to be hitting that. The second thing is that this thing is supposed to hold it while it's off, so I don't know if this is going to affect stability at highway speeds. Hopefully it doesn't start doing stuff like this. Who knows? But I mean, when it's on, it doesn't do that, and when it's on, it sits here. When it's in its interval position, it sits here while it's not going. So I don't think we're going to run into any issues, and if anything, if this thing starts giving me problems, then I'll just cut some of this off with the Dremel. So let's go in the car and turn on the wiper and see how it goes. I'm just going into the accessory on position again until the gauge lights come on, stuff like that, and then I'm gonna hit that. Let's see how this goes. Looking good. See how it sits further up the back glass now. Let's check it out while it's going. Ooh, that actually looks pretty good. I just saw it. So look at this. The 13-inch blade in place of the stock 10-inch works perfectly. So I'm actually really impressed with this. I should probably turn it off now. I'm actually really impressed with this. I'm gonna, like I said, drive this. I'm gonna be going to school again. My next semester starts here in a few days, so I'm gonna be driving to school like 30-40 miles a day. So I'm definitely gonna see how this works on the highway, so I'll let you guys know, and if anything, I'll let you know if it's BS. Alright, so that's what it looks like now. I pretty much finished all the Plasti Dip. I just need to get a little bit more of this stuff off, but it was pretty hard to get a lot of the Plasti Dip in between the letters off. So what I did is I grabbed some toothpicks, and I was just really careful. After I got the Plasti Dip off, I just stopped rubbing that toothpick on there, or I would just pick it under and then I would just start peeling, and then just grab it with my fingers and try to peel off the rest. But yeah, if, I feel like I mean, either time will take this off, or I can just come back and get it if it doesn't come off in a few days after driving. Yep, that's the side. The rear, this was so bubbled off that it wasn't really sticking on, so I don't really know what I'm going to do here. I might just go and try to sand it and be really light with that. The 4x4 part looks pretty good, but I still need to get some of that Plasti Dip off of there. Looks kind of crappy. And then the front, it looks pretty good. It just needs to be a little more evened out. It's kind of a little bubbly in some spots, but it looks fine till you get up close, just like the rest of the car. But yeah. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up. I took 2 days to do this just because I was trying to take a little bit of my time. Even though I did take my time, I kind of did some careless stuff. But, I mean, I got the emblems done. All the emblems are red now. I got the rear wiper blade hack done. That's pretty nice to know that that works. I drove around a little bit with it today and it worked. The rear wiper arm is also painted. That's good. If anybody can get those front wiper blades off, or like figure out a way to, just let me know. That'd be awesome. Because I really want to get mine off. They look really, really old, really faded right now, and I'd appreciate a way to fix that. We got Jeeptoberfest coming up in a few months, 2 months around in Ocala. Lots of off-road activities there. Gonna be filming a lot of that and doing a lot of prep for going to Jeeptoberfest. There are multiple off-road courses, and I'm probably just gonna do the easy one because I don't have a lift yet, and I don't think I'm planning on getting one in the next couple months. And I don't think my wheels are actually big enough to do the intermediate, unfortunately, so we'll just do the stock, or the easy one this time for stock cars, and I'll get a lot of videos of the cars there and myself going on the course and going through the forest. There are over 80 miles of dedicated trails in the Ocala National Forest, so there's going to be a lot of exploring to do. I got myself, and hopefully I can get a friend or two to bring some Jeeps, and it'll be really awesome, so stay tuned.